Okay, up and rolling with board number 2, making sure that we're dialed in at 100 on the preset 001 here. This one here is not running through the effects loops. So, in theory, what have I done? Oh, of course, gotta hit the AB switch. There it is. Just recently purchased these Peterson tuners, and now I have 3 of them. And you can see from the display there the accuracy opportunity that you're given in a way that, you know, most people have never seen tuning unless you have a strobe type tuner or, you know, the old Peterson tuners. So I don't know how long these newer ones have been out. I have the Korg Polytune, and I like it. It's just a little bit small, and one thing about me, I'm colorblind, so that, and combined with playing outside in the Florida Keys all the time, there's sometimes that the sun is literally in your eyes, you know, as wherever I'm playing. Most places that I play in the Keys, you know, music has been an afterthought. Hey, let's get somebody to play some music, and they stick you someplace that is beneficial for the people to watch you, but not necessarily where the performer would be best wanting to be. And sun in your eyes, and when it hits your pedal board, you simply sometimes can't see. And so this Peterson strobe tuner has absolutely resolved that. There's like every color in the palette, so I've just picked one that I go with. There's something interesting about this pedal board is that this exotic booster is a 2-stage booster, but it's a very difficult booster to get to because the buttons are close. You can see that they're close, but what I've done with this design is where I'm using the 2 nobles on the other board to have the stage of gain and of course then that spark booster, I'm using 1 stage of gain, another stage of gain, because that's that second side of the booster, and then going from there up to the nobles, which is like the 3rd gain. So let's hear our sounds. So let me shut the reverb off. Yep. That's just the Boss IR-200. Okay, well, let's start going down the list. Let's just start with a little tap delay. There she be. All right, let's add some verb. Pedal. Now, here comes a little tremolo. Working great. Let's hear a little. My very first pedal I ever owned is a small stone. I still have it, and I'll end up putting it on that big board. And I would like to have that small stone on over there instead of that newer orange pedal, but just no room on the board to make it sensibly work. You know, that's one thing when you start trying to get your feet tapping on these little things live here. His studio's a little different. You might have a little bit more time to recover a mistake that you might make by stepping on something, but live, you know, there you go. So let's hear what our booster's going to do. All right, let's see the other side. Wow, a lot of kick. The one thing about that RC booster that's a little difficult to get to is that blue knob. I think it's blue, that right there, because that's the volume relative to that pedal, that button. So therefore, if it's not, it's kind of just difficult. I think it's designed to use with your fingertip and your press, but you know, a lot of times we're used to using 2 fingers, so I try to squeeze my hand there and then knock my other stuff. Not a complaint, it's a criticism. Excuse me, it's not a criticism, it's an observation. The pedal's great, and I very rarely use the second part of that pedal, but one reason I haven't is because it's been close in proximity to the other pedal next to it, and if you have another pedal right in that area, tough to do. So let's go here up to the big nobles. Yep, I hear it. Potential with that. Let's try our little compressor. I use the compressor more as a boost, but I do like it after the nobles because I'm able to squash that nobles down directly out of it and get that 80s rock thing. See if I can give you an example of that. So, it wasn't the best example, but you get the idea. And the last, let's hit our little GE7. Well, in conclusion, this was just to test this out, just to share this. I've had some questions about pedal order and how that FR-12 is handling all this stuff, and as of yesterday, that second FR-12 cabinet came in, and I took all these pedals apart and put them back on the board, made sure the power is right. And if there's something to take away from this today, one of the things that's happening to the pedals that we're using is that they're requiring more milliamps than the prototypical old style 100 milliamp power supplies. For instance, and I've written them down on a piece of paper so I wouldn't make a mistake. The Nobles uses like 6 milliamps or 600ths of a milliamp, whatever it is. It's not even a milliamp, so not 6 milliamps, but yeah, maybe it is 6 milliamps. It's not much. 0.6, I think is what it is. Half of a milliamp, whatever it is. And whereas the big IR-200 uses 400, 307. Now I've got an actual tester that tells you. So this pedal uses more. This one, the Hydra, uses right at 300. And I could be wrong. I'm going off the top of my head. But anyway, point being is that you want to make sure you're giving each pedal the appropriate power. Don't be fooled that the light turns on. Just because a light turns on, that doesn't mean your stuff is getting the right conditioned power or milliamps. And of course, some of these pedals can work with lesser sagging type voltage, which is an actual feature on power supplies and even pedals themselves. But regardless, if you are wiring your board, do a quick Google search to see what your pedal uses, or go on Amazon. I found a little by True Tone, I think is what the company, or One Spot, whoever it is. I think that's all in the same company. And they have a device that when you plug you plug the power into the device, and then plug the pedal into this device, and then there's the draw. You can see what the draw is, and that's how I did both of these boards. I have it all written down, and then what you do is you look at the back at your power supply, and on this particular one, which is, I can't remember the daggum name, but it's got 4 100 milliamp outputs, 3 300 milliamp outputs, 1 500 milliamp at 9 volts, and then one that's 100 at 18 volts, or 500 at 9 volts if you switch it. So I switched it to 9 so I could have the 500. Even has a USB, which I don't use, and there's one available open slot for 18 volt stuff. And you don't have to use them all, because 5 of these pedals, they draw less than, half of what the output of 100, they draw 50 milliamps as opposed to 100. So you can run several pedals, as many as you want to, as long as you're under that milliamp. But anyway, I hope that was helpful. I'm going to put this all together, put this up on the internet for you beautiful folks. I'm going to also post that Tom Bukovac thing so you can hear him talk about his vintage amplifiers not working. It's not to discourage anybody from pursuing that. It's just to make a point that even somebody who's at the top of the mountain in terms of where he's located and who he is and his history and his love for vintage gear, which I so appreciate. And Tom's a master at all this stuff and has an incredible preference, rightfully so, as we all do. But preference relative to application for me is what's important. Here in the Florida Keys, I play gigs outside. Salt air, which is a corrosive environment, and anything that you have is a sacrificial lamb. But at the same time, I will go home to Nashville, Tennessee, and I will be in some recording environments with the same exact stuff, including these TONEMASTER solid state sources, whether it's the Super Reverb, TONEMASTER, the Twin Reverb, whether it's the Deluxe Reverb, or especially these TR-12 cabinets. And they sound incredible. My point relative to Tom's situation is that even somebody who has access to everybody that can fix his gear, it still requires somebody to do that. And Tom, who has access to everybody, he's down with a bunch of his stuff. The nature of it is surely not abuse. That's not Tom's nature, is it? Tom's nature would be usage. But when you use your stuff, what do you have to do? You have to maintain it. For me, I need stuff that I have nobody in the Florida Keys that can fix the thing down here. So if it's not me fixing, we don't have a music store, folks. So if I can't take care of it, there's nobody down here to take care of a tube amplifier. There might be some who claim they can, but listen, I wouldn't take an empty Coke bottle to those folks. I wouldn't do it. No way. Man, it's just not worth the effort and the return. And you're going to take a vintage amplifier to, first of all, out in the Florida Keys, where you're going to have a corrosive element be eaten away at it immediately. For me, I've found a happy place, and that's what the point of this video is. And if your happy place is vintage gear and you're happy with it, great. Congratulations, good for you. I've done that stuff, so I get it, and I surely understand that tonal pursuit of why it's very satisfying when all that stuff works. But for me, application has to be based around a little bit more sensibility for me, and that's why I'm sharing this information. It can be done. You know what I'm realizing today? I need to go practice. So that's what I'm going to do after I make this video. God bless you all. Thank you all for listening to this. I hope this was helpful to somebody. Thank you for seeing the test run of this. And now I'm going to go make this up and see what we can do. All right. God bless you all. Thank you.